Right. Hello, everybody. Yolandi, hello. Seeing there's anybody else here at the moment. Pretty quiet tonight. Tonight. Don't think there's anybody here except Yolandi. All right. So, might as well wait until people come. I'm actually going to change. I'm going to use OBS from now on. I can give it a 5 minute countdown. Luna's here. Hello, Luna and Scarlet Shield. Welcome. Glad some people are joining. Let's just see. Okay, we've got 4 at the moment. All right, so welcome to the Covenstead. If this is your first time here, really just whatever you want to talk about. It's just a get together, a hangout, if you will. I'd love to hear what everybody's reading at the moment. Okay's here. Hello. Thanks for joining. All right, so I actually just finished The True Grimoire by Jake Stratton Kent today. Very good book. Well, Jake Stratton Kent's brilliant, but the True Grimoire that he wrote was very, very good. The examination of Grimorium Verum, its different translations, the Italian, the French, etc., and also comparison to things like the Grand Grimoire, Keys of Solomon, and a variety of others. Galilea, hello. God King Cthulhu's here, hello. Thanks for joining, everybody. So, Weave the Liminal by Zakharov and Crooked Path by Calden. Taku, hello, how are you? They're both great books, really good books. Rena is here, good evening, hello. Anybody who says evening, I know you're on my side of the world. This is morning for everybody in the US. Yeah. All right, so Taku mentioned 2 books. What's everybody else reading? I am now reading. Right. I am now reading Behind the Veil. Let's see who this is by again. Behind the Veil: The Complete Guide to Conscious Sleep by Daniel A. Kelly. Good book so far. I'm quite enjoying it. It's a bit different. Keeping Her Keys. Brilliant book. Excellent. Heathen W is here. Hey, almost through the Witch Compass. The Witch Compass by Ian Chambers is absolutely brilliant. One of my favourites. Jono is here. Hello, Jono. My first time here. What is this, please? This is just a basic hangout. It's a Covenstead. It's where all the witches get together and talk about whatever they want to talk about. Luna, you're lucky. You just had to finish up chatting with Jono as his power just went off at 8 p.m. Oh, shit, have you got load shedding? Yeah, so I had this morning, but only tomorrow again, so I'm lucky tonight. Scarlet Shield, The Ghosts of Nothing. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. Who's the author? Right, I'm going to have to go look for it now. Ghosts of Nothing. Oops. The Ghosts of Nothing. Cecily Walters. Fiction. Good stuff. I actually wanted some fiction. Why did that go to another screen? It's just weird. Yeah. Right, I'm back. Looking through, I don't think I've read Witch Compass. Witch Compass by Ian Chambers is absolutely brilliant. It examines the actual compass itself, the compass round, from traditional witchcraft perspective. Goes into the eights or the winds, examines those really, really well. So, yeah, brilliant book. Yolandi, mine was 4 to 6 this afternoon. Oh, well, cancelled for me, so I'm lucky. Scarlet Shield, novel I'm reading is A Town Haunted by Fairies. I have to look at that one as well. I've been looking for some good fiction. I'm actually reading V.E. Schwab, The Fragile Threads of Power. I'm not actually enjoying it that much. I heard that Schwab is a very good author, very kind of steampunk, but it's not really, can't really get into it. I can't follow what's going on. It just switches from one scene to another with hardly any explanation. Maybe I missed something in the previous book, I don't know. Match, Azazel. What about Azazel? Is that a book you're reading or the spirit itself? Luna, what the hell, Jono? I thought you were rushing. Oh, now Jono's in trouble. Oh, big fights in the Covenstead. Okay. Yolandi, Servitors and Elementals by someone called E.W. Johnson. Glad you're reading that book. I enjoyed that book, actually. One of my favorites. Yeah. Thea, hello. How are you, teacher? I'm good, thank you. What are you doing? John, I need to do lights and shut down my slow old laptop. Okay. I'm currently trying to start reading a book. A book, yeah, a book would be good to start reading. I actually usually end up reading more than one at a time. So I'm reading that one I mentioned, Behind the Veil, and also let's have a look. I'm reading Lucifer and the Hidden Demons again because I'm going to be reviewing that this month, February. That and what was the other one? Oh, there was another one I was reading which was similar. I've forgotten the name now. I'm going to review 2 this month, which are, as I said, are very similar. But Lucifer and the Hidden Demons by Theodore Rose is actually one of the books I enjoyed. Luna, I know, maybe just pulling your leg. I only just realised Lee was live when I saw the notification. I'm usually out skating this time of the evening. I wouldn't even attempt skating if we're talking about the same thing, because I'll probably break my neck. So yeah. Right, let's see. What else am I going to be reading? I just want to know what everybody's reading at the moment. Oh, I do need to read Picatrix. Do you need to read another Jake Stratton Kent? I still need to get through Geosophia, volume 1 and 2. Quite heavy books, quite big, so it might take me a while. Let's see. Okay, I've been reading The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, the old fighting fantasy book by Ian Livingstone. Kind of that rings a bell. A bit of nostalgia for my childhood. Yeah, it does ring a bell. That title anyway. What are you guys discussing today? Anything you want to discuss? I just started off with what everybody's reading because I've been reading today and watching Star Trek, so that's all I've been really doing today. Jono, I tried everything to get Lee's Servitor book for free. Subscribe to his newsletter with lots of promises and everything. It's a scam. Lee changes his website every other day to avoid accountability. When was that? Oh, I do remember that was an old newsletter from like, I don't know how long back. Give me a shout, Jono. Because if you joined a newsletter that promised you would get the book, then you must get the book. That's not right that you didn't get the books. Give me a shout. Luna, starting reading the Temple of Hecate this week. Thanks for the recommendation, Lee. Yep, roller skating. Took it up at the age of 45 years because why not? And I totally love it. Yeah, why not? As I said, I'll probably break my neck, but you know, do not spoil my teacher's name. God King Cthulhu, Geosophia is a grind, but I highly recommend his Cyprian books as well. I haven't seen his Cyprian books. There was somebody else who was into Saint Cyprian. No, I'm forgetting names today. Terrible. I do need to read the book of Saint Cyprian though. The various interpretations of it anyway. Otaku, I have a question. We talk about diamond spirits being higher vibrational, but others talk about them being lower vibrational than humans. What are your thoughts? I think this depends on personal worldview, perspective. A lot of people who will talk about the daemon or daimon being lower vibrational spirits are usually people from a Christian worldview from that perspective. And a lot of that also you find in ceremonial magic and the whole, doing the grimoire evocations the way it's written in the grimoire, which means threatening and binding the spirits to the triangle and threatening with brimstone and all that rubbish. But we respect the demons around these parts. But yeah, when it comes to the demons or the daemon, they are higher vibrational spirits from the perspective of them usually being old gods and goddesses from different cultures and different ages. Um, and we talk about the Goetia spirits, also very much higher vibrational, but they are more chthonic in nature rather than celestial. So chthonic, terrestrial, etc., etc. But they're still high vibrational beings. Low vibrational beings, we're then starting to reach into the astral parasites, which if we want to use the word demon as indicating some kind of evil spirit, then we would be referring to the astral parasites. But they're also necessary. All these things are necessary. Annoying little bugs are necessary for everything to exist. So they're annoying. They suck your energy. They feed off your energy of fear. They create fear to feed off that. But they're still a necessary part of creation. So but yes. So the daemon is, from my perspective, is considered to be a high vibrational spirit. They are not that lower vibrational astral parasitic or imposter type spirits. Otaku said Stephen Skinner has a good book on Saint Cyprian. Yeah, I did find a few. Can't remember if Stephen Skinner was amongst them. I'll have a look when I go back to them. If they're not, then I'll go and have a look for Stephen Skinner because he's a great author. Cthulhu. It's a 2-volume like Geosophia, but with all the flair we love about JSK. Yeah, I've really got to get through those 2 volumes. I've started twice actually, and then I kind of moved on back to something else. Thea, can we talk about Clawneck? Planning to work with him next week, give some tips. Actually, Clawneck's one of the spirits that I worked with years ago. I did reconstruct the ritual from the Grimorian Verum that I used back then, actually. I put it on my Patreon, as far as I remember. I'll get into more specifics with you when we meet for a lesson. for a class. But yeah, Clawneck, try and put it in a nutshell. Because Clawneck comes from the Grimorian Verum, you can work with Clawneck as you work with all the other spirits. You know, you use a sigil. Um, there's, I think it's an N. I think somebody constructed an N for Clawneck. There should be anyway. You can use the N and just do the same thing as you would with all the other demonic spirits. But what you can do is work specifically with Grimorian Verum, in which case you would be working with the intermediary Skirlin. You would be calling Skirlin, and then you would be calling Lucifer, and then you would be calling Clawneck. It's kind of like Skirlin is the intermediary. He's kind of considered to, in other terms, would be like the Holy Guardian Angel from the Sacred Magic of Abramelin. He's kind of that in between spirit, between yourself and the divine intelligences. So you call Skirlin gatekeeper, you call him a gatekeeper, and then you call, because Clawneck falls under the auspice of Lucifer, you call Lucifer and then you call Clawneck. So in the Grimorian Verum, you have the three main spirits. Lucifer, Astaroth, and Beelzebub, and then you have a variety of spirits that kind of fall under each of their auspices. So it's a bit, that's sort of the way you work with the Grimorian Verum. Plus, the Grimorian Verum is very much a talismanic type of working. It does go into tools and things like that. I don't find that necessary. There's very little, depending on the translation you're looking at, very little in terms of circle casting. But again, you can use your own circle casting. I do find the Grimorian Verum to be very much that talismanic type of method. It does speak about pacts. You usually create pacts with the spirits in the Verum. Not an absolute necessity, and also a need to understand what they mean by pact, because they speak of two kinds or different types of pacts in the Verum. One is the one where you actually write it down, it's just like a physical pact. The other one is just through thought, through speech, things like that. But it's more of a it's actually more creating a relationship, creating or giving offerings, really, like, as we normally do in this case when they're talking about pacts. So it's not this kind of like tie your energy into the well of weird type thing. It's just creating or giving offerings, creating relationships. But yeah, that's the way you work with it in Verum. To put it in a nutshell, that's a long nutshell. But anyway. All right. God Cthulhu, the New Age definition of vibration is wonky at best. Yeah, it is a bit difficult, but I mean, I like talking about the everything being of a frequency, and if you want to achieve something, then you resonate with you kind of locate or find the frequency or vibration that you want to become in order to achieve the goal, and then you resonate at the same, you bring yourself into resonance with that vibration or that frequency. So I do like to talk about vibration and frequency a lot, but yeah, interpretations again. Jono, all true, but I'm teasing you, Lee. That was how I found you. I was looking for instruction on how to create a server to your server to videos were excellent. I'm glad I found you and the good Rev. That was a long time ago, as far as I remember, that I had that newsletter which had I was giving away the Elemental and Servitor book. Very long time ago. Right, Otaku, thanks so much. That helps a lot. It's a pleasure. As long as I make sense, that's the main thing, because I don't feel like it always makes sense. Gokin Cthulhu, is he in the Clip-Off too? I don't follow the Clip-Offic tree myself, but I'm not sure who you're talking about. Just going back here. You were talking about Gia Sophia and Cyprian. I'm not sure you're talking about Joaquin Cathedral. Just let me know. Sappho is here. Hello. I like petitions better, although it's the same. Yeah, it's very much the same type of thing. If you're talking about a name paper or petition paper, where you write out what you want, and etc. etc. I think there's this whole fascination with pacts, and it's become this thing which is very much tied in with the Hollywood type of approach, where not just the Hollywood approach, really. I mean, if you go back to Robert Johnson, and his uh, uh, going to the crossroads and making the deal with the devil and all that stuff, very much that kind of thing that people are bringing across when they're talking about pacts, where you make a deal with the devil. And you tie your soul into the well of weird, and you sell your soul, and all these things, which there's some truth to it, but I think it's been taken to an extreme, which is kind of unnecessary and kind of misleading in many ways. So, petition papers, making pacts, giving offerings, there's something to it, but it's not quite what it's been portrayed as. But yeah, anyway. Otaku, yes, your servant or videos are very good. Okay, cool stuff. Clawneck. I don't think I've seen mention of Clawneck being part of the Clepothic tree, or not of um, the spheres anyway. But as I said, I don't follow the Clepothic tree myself, so um, I don't stick to the shells and illusions. Thea, have you put out your new courses yet? The only one I've put out recently was the spontaneous singing one. I'm still working on the gate opening one. I need to actually get back to that. I've had a busy couple of weeks with web development. So I need to get back to creating that course. Hopefully, I'll get back to it this week, because things should calm down a bit, and have the gate opening course out as soon as possible. Okay, my experience, or in your experience, what is the best, most powerful technique for summoning a spirit and presencing it? I.e., what is the best way to call a spirit wherein you can feel its presence within? I personally just like to sit down and repeat the N. Just repeat it over and over again until I start feeling the presence. But I think I'm not sure if I've demonstrated this. I'm sure I've demonstrated it on my channel, in the public channel. What usually happens is I start with the N, and then as the energy starts to flow in, then it kind of becomes spontaneous singing, and that becomes very much whatever the spirit itself, the song, the sound, the speech, the growling, whatever the spirit wants to actually, what noises the spirit wants to make. That's kind of what happens with me anyway. But really, just sitting down and just chanting the N, I find it very effective. Okay, WRHUHD. I have no idea what that means. You're gonna have to translate for me. Otaku, have you read Josephine McCarthy's book on the North Gate? I have not. It is actually one of the books I put on my list a while back and completely forgot about it. She also wrote, what's the name of it? It begins with a Q. That really massive um, four-part or four-volume book, which apparently is a very, very good um, course on magic, from like through all of the different degrees. I've been told it's a very good book. I did start reading it once, but it's such a huge volume to get through. Um, So if anybody actually wants to start from scratch and read that book or those volumes, let me know how it goes. Yolandi, he also has a servitor course that is excellent. Yeah, I do. I've got the servitor creation course. You'll find it on my website under the courses. There's also the Astral Temple course, which I one of my favorites, and the Sigil course. They all kind of go hand in hand. The Sigil course, the Servitor course, and the Astral Temple course, because you need to, in order to create Servitor, you need to create the Sigil. Well, you don't have to, but it's usually goes hand in hand with it. So, and then using the Astral Temple to actually create the servitors. It's quite an interesting thing to do. Right, sorry, I'm a bit behind here. Let's see. So yeah, my question is how to maintain the presence when we call the spirit, because I feel them when I call, but later I feel it disconnected a bit, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So this comes back to what I was saying just now about vibration and bringing yourself into resonance. So what happens is you call the spirit, but it's the energy of the spirit, and the energy kind of flows around you, flows in your space, and you have this energy, this vibration, this frequency. And what happens is you then start to resonate at the same frequency as that energy, but you yourself resonate at your own natural frequency, vibrate at your own natural frequency. So after you've finished working with the spirit, you're going to continue to resonate at that particular vibration, but over time you then come back to your own frequency, and that's what you vibrate at. That kind of frequency you vibrate at, your own natural frequency, and then you go back and you do it again. So to keep the presence of the spirit, you could use talismanic magic, and every time you want to reinitiate that particular frequency and resonate at that frequency, then you just hold on to the talisman, you say some words or whatever it is. So you can use talismanic magic for that, or just keep going back. And you'll find that if you keep going back to the same energy over and over and over again, once you get back to your own frequency, you then invoke that energy again. You resonate at that energy. You keep doing that over and over again. Your own frequency will begin to change. It does take a long time for that to actually take effect, but it can be done. Alk typo, sorry, that's okay. Oh yeah, Luna Queria, probably not spelled right. Not spelled right, but it is. It's pronounced Queria as well. There we go. Otaku got it. That's the right spelling. I have it, and I'm going to try. It is digitally free on her website. Yeah, I did see. I think all the volumes are free. Jono's community has a strong and interesting demonology flavor. I'm not there yet, maybe never. I'm curious, how often do you actually summon? Once a year, once per week? When I'm kind of needing a particular energy, when I'm doing a particular work, um, you know, and obviously depends on what work I'm doing. It's going to be working with a different spirit, usually anyway. Thea said I summon every other day, like 2-3 times per week. Jono, thanks. Andy, oh, that was about the service course. Well, Thea, I was not expecting your answer. Yeah, Thea's quite dedicated to spirits. Let's see. Sappho was having a meditation, and a spirit came through and told me, oops, that I needed to suffer because being comfortable was impeding my growth. Thoughts? Yeah, it's quite a possibility. You know, when we are working with these spirits, the higher intelligences, the divine intelligences, their main goal for us specifically is to get us to improve. And if something is holding us back, they it's not necessarily them, but once you start walking on a particular path, your own vibration, and again, your vibration, your own frequency alters, it changes. And that usually means that things which don't hold true for you anymore fall away. So if, I don't know if it would be suffering so much that you would need to suffer. It depends on the situation. But at the same time, just be careful and test the spirits, because if it is a astral parasite, they may want you to suffer, and it may have nothing to do with your growth, but they may be saying it's got to do with your growth. Because being comfortable was impeding my growth. Yeah, I'd test the spirits if I were you. Just make sure that they're not parasites, just in case. But yeah, sometimes the lesson that you get is to become uncomfortable, um, so that you can learn a particular thing. So it's quite possible. Okay, what's the best way to develop psychic and magical power? Practice. Sit down and meditate. Sit down and shut up, as they say. Um, just become one-pointed, focused, and quiet the mind. Because I think what we find is our minds are racing so much. We've got so many thoughts and noises in there that when we try to develop these psychic powers, psychic abilities, we can't hear because it's just so noisy. And psychic abilities are done, we the sight, seeing, and all those things are done with the entire being, with all of the senses, the psychic senses. So bringing ourselves into a state of quietude or silence is very important in that regard. And magical powers, you know, you've got to know how to get into a trance state. You've got to know how to center yourself. Again, that all comes back to meditation. So meditation and breath work, all very, very important stuff. Otaku, a book I am thinking about is the Book of Smokeless Fire by Cayenne. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the author, and that particular book just goes into the ghouls. He carries on about how to work with the ghouls who just want to come through and destroy our world. What's the point of that? There is in the beginning, there is some interesting perspectives on the history of the Jinn, but other than that, not really a book I would recommend myself. Okay, read Barden. Barden is brilliant. Absolutely, yeah, for development of psychic powers, or psychic abilities and such. Barden is excellent. Now, what's the name of the book, John? I've forgotten the name of the book. Wait, I'll find it. I'm not going to be lazy. Right. Franz Barden books. Make sure I don't knock my tea over. Why am I not finding the book? Oh, yeah. Initiation into Hermetics. That's the book I was trying to think of. Yeah, brilliant book. And it also goes into a lot of other stuff besides just psychic ability, so very good. Otaku, but the author points to it only being written towards negative outcomes. If you're talking about Book of the Smokeless Fire, yeah. It's all about negativity. It's all about destruction of our world. So that's why I don't really get the point of the book, to be honest. Thea, I feel a lot of anxiety when I leave my cats alone at home when I'm traveling. What can I do about this? Sorry if this is irrelevant. No, it's not irrelevant. It's about your cats. You could put up wards. Put up wards around your apartment. So they protect the cats, and then you don't have to worry about the cats so much. Yolandi, how can I learn more about death poses? Not sure if I'm expressing that correctly. Death poses, you know, really, death poses are. Um, I mean, that's you use them to go into trance, but they're very, very, very painful and uncomfortable. And really, the easiest way to do that is to find a yoga pose that is painful for you and hold it. You're probably going to end up with cramps and stuff like that. I always end up with cramps or something. But you just find a really uncomfortable position and you hold it, and it then takes you into, through the pain, it actually takes you into a trance state. But if you go into names, Spare, Austin Osman Spare, he talks about death postures, and there are 3 death postures that he talks about. And I think the easiest one, there's actually one where you simply just gaze at a mirror, gaze at yourself or a point in the mirror, and you become as still as a dead person. But then he goes into actual death posture where you kind of stand up. It's a bit like the hangman position, but you stand up with your back against a wall and you hold that. One death posture I actually used many years ago, which was quite interesting, was the hangman position, but you actually lie down. So you have your hands behind your backs, or your backs, your hands behind your back, and you put your one foot behind your opposite knee, and then you just lie down. And what you can also do is lie on a bed with your head over the end. So it actually starts to create some compression on your neck, and it starts to actually, what it does, it cuts off blood supply to your brain slightly, not completely, so you don't become brain dead. But this puts you into a trance, which is very similar to what Cochrane spoke about, where you are treading the mill. Well, I think he called it treading the mill anyway. You're walking in a circle, and you're pointing at the focus point in the center, and you're kind of like doing this with your head and looking straight down your arm as you're pointing, and it kind of cuts off blood supply in your neck, so you go into a trance state. So yeah, well, different ways you can do it anyway. Sappho said thank you. It's a pleasure. Can't remember why. uh, oh yes, okay, your question. Okay, it's a pleasure. Okay, thanks for the meditation. Just what I needed to hear. Yeah, everybody, you say meditation to people, it's like, oh, do I have to do that? It's just really, it boils down to being the most important aspect of all spiritual and magical or practices, really. Initiation to hermetics. That, yeah, that's the book. There you go. How do you test the spirits? Ask them questions. Ask them to well, give you their name. Just keep asking them questions. Because what you'll find is that the imposters, the astral parasites, don't want to answer. So if you keep asking them questions, they're going to get irritated. An actual higher intelligence, a deity, won't get irritated. They're actually expecting you to test them. Um, so the astral parasites just almost immediately get irritated. And what you can also do, this is, I have, I have been told that this is a bit more involved than what's usually written in the books. But what's usually written and suggested is to draw a banishing pentagram of Earth and push that at the spirit so it goes through them. If the spirit disappears, it was an astral parasite. If the spirit doesn't disappear, there's a divine intelligence. But this, what you can do after you've tested the spirit, the first time you met them, after you've tested the spirit, you have confirmed that it is the spirit you want to work with, then set up like a password for all the next time you work with them. It's like a secret handshake type of thing. So when you beat the game, they give the password, you give the password if you have to, you exchange something, some kind of sign or, as I said, secret handshake with the spirit, and then you know it's them. But usually, if you ask them questions, especially questions about themselves, their allegiances, their lineage, depending on the spirit, if you know who their mother and father were, for instance, ask them those types of questions and address them in a similar fashion. I am blah blah. My mother was named. My father was named, etc., etc. You can address them like that as well if you want to. But that's the basics of it. Thea, I never came across a parasite while invoking, maybe in the start. I've been doing all the banishing, circle invoking, and summoning in order. Maybe it's working for me. Yeah, if you are, we do pick up all the negative energy and the sludges throughout our normal day. If you're interacting with people, you're going to be picking up stuff, um, negative stuff, sludge, I like to call it. And that's really, people actually, I think a lot of the astral parasites are actually thought forms that people have created. And, if you're walking through a crowd and this thought form goes, oh, I like this energy over here, and it attaches and, you take it along with you. But really, usually, it's just a case of just getting in a shower or doing a cleansing or doing a banishing rite or just sitting down and meditating and raising your vibration. As soon as you raise your vibration above the vibration of that parasite, it can't hold on anymore. So it lets go and goes off somewhere else. So it's really, we talk about the parasites and there's something to watch out for, but really it's something that we kind of experience on a daily basis anyway. Thea, what about you, Lee? Do you really ask them questions, or do you just feel their presence and realize who it is? I do ask them if I'm working with the spirit for the first time. I will ask them questions. I will test them. I'll do some kind of banishing just to make sure that it is a high vibrational entity. Um, but usually, if I've been working with them for a while, I know what they feel like. Um, Other people will continue with the secret password or the secret handshake, or um, quite often it's the spirit has given you a name to use when you call it, and it's a very personal name and it's only given to you, so you don't kind of give that name to anybody else. You know, so but usually I kind of know what they feel like, so it becomes a little bit easier. Let's see, John Taku Lee has a comprehensive video called Testing the Spirits. I've watched it multiple times. I prefer a methodical approach because I'm still learning how to trust my intuition. Yeah, I did do that. There's actually a few I've done, but then I went and read. I've forgotten the name. I think Luna said she's reading the same book, maybe. It's actually a book about Hecate by. Brain has gone for a ball of shit today. But anyway, in the book, the author actually outlines a set kind of step by step how you test the spirits, and I thought it was brilliant. So I actually mentioned that in a video. The book is mentioned in that video as well. So there we go, Tara Sanchez. That's the author. And the method, the step by step method she mentioned was really really good. So as I said, I kind of created a video for that. And the book is called The Temple of Hecate. Well, that was quite simple and easy. I don't know why I didn't remember that. I was thinking of something really complicated. Yeah, I was drinking my tea. Thea, yes, I feel negative usually after meeting and hanging out with people. Yeah, people can be quite negative at times, and they you'll find that I think if we walk around like a shopping mall or something, and there's a lot of people there, or where somewhere where there's crowds, it's actually a good exercise. You can start picking up on the negativity of specific people, because you have people. Some people are fine, but other people may have anxiety. Some people may be angry, and all those negative emotions the parasites are attracted to. But in some cases, the people are going to be creating thought forms from these negative emotions, and those thought forms need to feed. So if they're in a crowd of people, they've got loads and loads and loads of options. So they may just pick up somebody who is walking along and has had a bad day. Maybe they had some shit from their boss or something, and they're just depressed. And the thought form will pick up on that, and they'll go and feed off it. Um, yeah, if as I said, it's really a case of just doing a cleansing. And when we are practicing magic, when we start practicing magic, we kind of our energy alters, it changes, and we kind of light up like a Christmas tree, a light bulb, and like moths to the flame. The astral parasites come along, because now all of a sudden it's like fresh meat type of thing. And that's why one of the things, some of the things we need to learn as foundational practices is firstly meditation and breath work, because that helps to raise our vibration, our frequency. And then, not in all cases. In some cases, banishing rites are recommended. Jason Miller recommends it in his book, and I think Jason Miller's book is brilliant. I follow the same prescription of those 3 daily practices of offerings, banishing rites, and meditation for protection. So, where was I going with this? Oh, yes. So, meditation, breath work, raises your vibration, and then doing protection work. And that all falls into it, the actual meditation itself. You're raising your vibration, so you're taking yourself out of that sludge. And you've got to keep doing it on a constant basis, because we have bad days, we go through shit and everything else, and we kind of bring ourselves down into a lower state. So, it's just constantly doing the work. And then learning protection. If you need to put up wards, if you need to do specific things to keep you protected, because you're going to have these things that are attracted to you. We all do, everybody does. It's just when we start magic, we kind of light up. So we attract them a bit more. Let's see, Thea says, are you saying if we have negative or low vibrational emotions, then we are attracting parasites to feed off us? Usually, if you're having a really bad week, where your emotions are negative, they're low, or you're in that low state, you're in that same frequency and vibration as those parasites, so it's easier for them to kind of attach to you. As I usually explain, it's like a bit like I think of it a bit like a radio station, or tuning in a radio. So you have a particular frequency down here, you have a frequency up here. You want to be up here because this is the low frequency. Um, but if you're down here with the low frequency, it's easy for them to kind of pick up on you. So when you are in a low state, you're going to pick up that negativity. Negativity attracts negativity. So it's just, as I said, cleanse, meditate, raise your vibration, do whatever you need to do, and get yourself back up into that vibration, higher vibrations. Not easy all the time. Sometimes we do stay in that low vibrational state for quite a while, depending on what's going on in our life. Sometimes it's a necessity. Um, you know. John has said I spent 65 minutes in Absa and 40 minutes in Standard Bank back to back on Thursday. I was sitting there Desperately trying to ground and strengthen my shield, I can imagine, because that's annoying. It's just gonna break down those shields to begin with, not to mention all the people around you. Yeah. Thea, are there any practices to help with controlling your desire, especially desire to binge on food? Um, just discipline, really, and that's really not an easy thing. That's something I battle with. It's discipline. Um, but really, it's just a mindset that you've got to bring yourself into. Um, Other than that, specific practices, I can't think of any. It really is just disciplining yourself, saying, "This is what I want. This is what I'm going to go for. This is how I get there," and I don't divert. You can set little mini goals for yourself. So if you set mini goals, it makes it easier to get to the bigger goals. And you just take small little steps, which makes life a lot easier. But yeah, just discipline. Slugger, hi, how are you? Ali, what do you think of crystals? Do you think they can help in staving off absorbing negative energy from people in busy public spaces? I feel it helps me a lot. Yes, definitely can. I don't really work with crystals myself, but they can be very effective. And I think if, just something like clear quartz is very effective for that type of thing. I do, where is it? What have I got here? No, I don't have it here. I've got an onyx pie stone. Where did I put that? I don't even know where it is anymore. Bloody hell. Anyway, um, yeah, obsidian, black onyx, black tourmaline, all of the dark crystals actually tend to absorb that negativity and take it on for you type of thing. Um, Labradorites is nice too. Yeah, I got a black onyx pie stone, and as I said, I don't really work with crystals much. It's not really something I've been interested in ever. I do find them pretty, but I actually prefer to just walk down the road and pick up a stone. That's me. But I got this black onyx pie stone and I put it on and immediately felt a change, a difference. So I definitely would say they can be very effective. Malcolm, hi. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Let's see, Luna. Maybe the Fae took your stone. It's quite possible, or my house ghost, my house spirit, because I've been naughty and haven't cleaned the kitchen. I'd cleaned it today though, so yeah, should get all my stuff back now. Right, so I think we're coming to an end soon. Just now, Luna, I use Tiger's Eye personally, and I think Hematite is supposed to be good. Yeah, as I said, I'm not really a crystal person myself. I know some basics, but that's about it. There was some years back when I did kind of get involved in selling stones and crystals and whatnot, but I just found them pretty. See you, Miss Julie. See you soon. Okay, cool. Have a good evening. Taku, thank you for all of this, Lee. It's a pleasure. Okay, it looks like we're all going now. Luna, you stared me off with the kitchen cleaning thing. Right. It ain't looking great. Need to clean up these things. Yeah. I actually find that when I'm going through a period where I need to do cleansing, my biggest and first sign is my kitchen. Um, I just, no matter how much I clean the damn thing, it just doesn't seem to get clean. That's my biggest sign. That's when I know I need to do some serious cleansing work. Yeah. Thank you, Lee. Blessings all. Sorry, started me off. Oh, yeah. Go clean your kitchen. Everybody, go clean your kitchens. All right. Okay, it looks like we are coming to an end. So join me next month again, first Sunday of the month for the Covenstead, and I'll be doing the cauldron, the healing half-hour thingy, 2 weeks from now, because it's the third week of the every month, third Sunday, same time, 8 o'clock, or well, it's 8 o'clock my time, 6 p.m. GMT. There you go. Jono, this was really nice, Lee. Thanks, Lee. That's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. All right. Hope everybody has a great time, a great month ahead. And thanks for joining. Thanks for the chat. I do enjoy this. And see you next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.